Hello everyone, I'm Wendell Jones and welcome to this edition of the program. The platform on this program, we examine national, sometimes international issues. On our program today is Peter Nygard himself. Welcome again to the program.
Always nice to be here.
It's nice to see you and
all white.
All white today.
The reason it's all white is because that's the key color of my Nigard Slims for next spring. Yes. We are going to do all white head to toe looks, and the Nigard Slims really brings that white alive. And by the way, I'm wearing men's Nigard Slims and testing them right now for next year, just in case you're jealous and see how well these fit and how comfortable they are. I know you were looking at them a few minutes ago.
They fit extremely well. And I remarked at how well your physique is, and so I was wondering whether or not you had Nigard Slims for the stomach.
Yes, well, actually, the Nigard Slims do tighten up your stomach for men and women. What they really do is they really trim you up, and they slender you at the stomach. They get rid of your muffin tops, they get rid of your stomach, and they hold you straight, and they really feel like they're on. Every person who puts them on, including men, will feel they're pulling in their stomach. So they really work.
Wow. Well, you better tell me when you have the men's selection in town, eh, Justin?
Most definitely, I'll be wearing a pair.
You'll be wearing a pair. But things are going well at the store, I believe?
They're going amazing. The product is flying off of the shelves. And SENygard truly blessed the Bahamas by bringing this here.
Very good.
I'll tell you what, this is the #1 store. I got about 1,000 stores. This turned out to be the #1 store, all my stores. We sell more Slims in here than any other store, including Times Square. Wow. Every person comes in there, thanks me for bringing it in here and wants to buy more than one. We don't get anybody rejected. Once they put it on, it stays on.
Well, we're going to have a lot of time to talk about Nygard Slims on the program today, but before we talk about how you are outfitting the Bahamian women, let's talk about some current issues in our country. This country is abuzz now with the issue of Bahamas, and you've been investing in the Bahamas for many years. You've invested around the world. Yeah. And so if you want to talk about an international investor, it's Peter Nygard. What is your take now on what is happening at Bahamas?
I am so upset with this. I'm so upset with almost the cruelty that was beholden and bestowed on the people of Bahamas. That we go along like this and go ahead and give them this magnificent project, hire the people, etc., and then pull the rug from underneath them like this. And I'm even more upset that we sort of try to make it seem like it's the government's fault, and I think that is just almost political campaign to do that. You take this back as to another very famous investor was in this town. It's called Saul Kersner. This didn't happen with a much bigger development than this one. He pulled it off, he committed, he had his ducks in order, he had his money in order, and he executed. This guy is an execute nothing. To go ahead at the last minute, and to do this cheap trick about bankruptcy, who at the end of the day is going to suffer from that bankruptcy? The people of Bahamas. And then you put the onus back on the government as if it should start bailing them out, and make it seem like it's their fault. This guy got all kinds of concessions from the government. This guy has got all kinds of gifts and roads, etc. And his promise was to put this project together. And he's the big benefactor of it all. And he can't come up with the last bit of money that it takes. It's his execution that failed here, not the people of Bahamas, not the government. It is really a low-down exhibition of how not to do it. And he stuck on behind the scenes and going to bankruptcy in the United States, of all things. I'm so upset with the thing because we threw this back onto the people of Bahamas, and then a poor government who really doesn't have money to do this has to try to bail him out. Man.
What do you think went wrong, Peter Nygard? We know of the machinations with the Export-Import Bank of China and the China Construction Company, and Mr. Ismailian said that, well, the contractor gave him 3 dates and wouldn't finish on time. What do you think went wrong?
Yeah, we keep having all these. These excuses are common excuses in the construction industry. We have these kind of disputes going on in the construction industry constantly. It's part of the game. And what went wrong is that they didn't live up to their commitment of financing the project from an investor. He's the key investor here, key benefactor of it. If he couldn't execute this within the $800 million, whatever it had, then he had to put the rest of the money in. That's what went wrong, is that they all of them stopped financing it, even though it was their obligation to do so. It was their obligation to do so, because his daddy decided not to put any more money in it. That's what went wrong, And what's even more wrong than that is to go ahead and have these meetings with the prime minister and turn around and give him goodwill gestures as if you're going to solve it, and then surprise the hell out of him, pull a rug from underneath him, and make it seem like now the Bahamian government is doing something wrong. I just feel sorry for the fact that the government of Canada, or government of Bahamas, and the people of Bahamas have to pay for this now. It's the people of Bahamas who are paying for their own welfare here, and we've been waiting this now for 5 years, and then this already project's a year and a half late as it is. Has to be one of the worst executed projects I have ever seen in my life.
What do you think the government should be about now? What should they be doing?
Government's trying to do the best they can now with a bad situation, and quite frankly, the way this is coming down is almost like I hate to say this, almost like a political campaign to try to make this government look bad, and then we come up with some kind of flag waving by some people behind the scenes, that presumably are going to save the day, and etc. I am so upset with this thing. Upset for what? Upset for the people of Bahamas.
You want to do some things here too, and you haven't been able to get your things done
right.
because of a number of issues that have arisen in recent times. There's been a move to stop you or to distract you. Are you at all distracted by what we see happening?
Yeah, I've been held back now for almost 5 years from building and investing some. I said it's going to be about $25 million investment. We're going to have about 200 people employed by it already 5 years ago, and being prevented by my neighbors, little tricks to stop the government from authorizing work permits for my place. Even though they are required to authorize them, everything's legitimate, he's been putting injunctions against there. 5 years now it's taken me even just to build and rebuild my place that burned down, the most beautiful place in the world. And I have done everything according to the right books, and everything's right. The government's about to start doing it, and then this guy throws these lawsuits. There's about 20 different lawsuits in play right now. All of us are meant to block off the whole thing.
Judicial reviews.
Oh my goodness, and all artificial, very, very almost ill use of the judicial system. What he's doing is a mockery of the world in terms of Bahamas judicial system. That way he can do it. It's unheard of. And it is unheard of. When anybody else looks at it, they say, what? And he's been able to get away with it with his maneuvering behind the scenes. Yeah, it's been very frustrating for me not to be able to really invest further into Bahamas, for my own facilities, and even into this whole stem cell facility. This stem cell facility is a huge facility. Never was it planned to be done at Nygard Key. My goodness, that's what he pretended it was. It was always a huge project downtown, that we even had the property bought for, etc. But he doesn't want me to, and this government, to look good at all, So he wants to win the next election. Here's a foreigner who's plotting for the overthrow of a legitimate government, with maneuvering and doing all kinds of sneaky things. It is unheard of by anybody else's mandate. And Prime Minister is relatively soft-spoken, nice guy, so he's giving his day in court. But he's framing him to make him seem like he's corrupt so he can win the election. Now here's the latest thing. The battle has now shifted to Clifton. So in Clifton, we are, and I've been trying to help that all along, to have Clifton being for the people of Bahamas. This was a parade I'm taking way back 10 years, 15 years ago, when Vivian, Wiley, and Code, and they led the way to get and stop the development of some other Lyford Key type of development, and get the Clifton and its heritage sites and everything back for the people of Bahamas, and have that as a permanent place for Bahamian people. And they asked me to help that, and I did. And boy, from after that, have I been punished for that help by my neighbor. And quite frankly, this is becoming pretty well a racist issue now. Somehow we've been exporting racism in here now because, Vivian Wiley's been really hit hard, with some of these racist stuff like that. And
the other day, I see you had a couple of hundred children down there at a summer camp again, eh?
A summer camp again, because last year Bacon promised they're going to fix up that Clifton for the people's summer camp, and last minute they reneged and pulled the rug. So 800 kids were all going to be lost and floated around in summer, and their hearts broken. So they asked me to host them, and I did. They all came over and had a time of their life. So thank God this year they now legitimately actually were going to do it now. And maybe I challenged them many times on TV. I said, look, let's put our money together and do something for the people of Bahamas. So apparently they're going to do something for that summer camp this year, because if they weren't going to do it, I was going to do it, right? Mm-hmm. So what happened instead, that we were going to ship and people from the outer islands come in and do our summer camp for the police department. Wouldn't you know it that at 5:30 in the morning, they maneuvered it and had it all canceled the last minute. Last year they canceled the summer camp out there. Now they canceled my summer camp at Nygard Key. We didn't fall for it. We instead rallied a nice church group come in here, the last minute, and we had not 30 people there. We had 230 people come over there and had a wonderful day with the kids over there. And I had made some speeches to them, and they had a great time of their life, and we promoted even my speech, that I made before. You know what I told them? As you guys see that painting over there, Clifton, that's yours. You guys are free, and don't ever forget that. And it came through that place over there. You use that, and I'm going to help you use that place every single weekend. That's yours, and don't you ever give that up, because that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to stop the people from Bahamas from using that Clifton, and Jaws Beach particularly. Not over my dead body they're going to do that.
Well, we came today to talk about Nigerian Slims, but
yes.
I knew that you had a number of issues that you have on your chest. You carry them around with you, eh?
I carry them around with me. They are around with me. They're part of the baggage that I carry, but they're not going to stop me from doing good things. Nigerian Slim is a good thing.
Yes, yes. Okay. Let's talk a little bit about Nigerian Slims and the impact that it is having among Bahamian women. I listened to Love 97 last weekend, and I heard a number of testimonials, Bahamian women talking about it. It's hot around the world, isn't it?
It is hot around the world. I have never, and I've been in this business almost 50 years, and I came into this business as being the best person who developed and designed pants. Pants have to be engineered. They're not just like a style. You really have to engineer them for the body. And there's the most difficult item to fit is the pant. And every woman has the biggest problem about getting pant to fit, So my fame to claim has always been pants all through my career, and I built my whole empire on the word pant. When I designed this one, it became more than just the word pant. We all want to be slim. And I developed a pant now that actually makes you slim. And then I call it Slims, and I trademarked that thing because it's so appropriate for what this really represents, this product. It's almost injustice to call it just a pant because it's much more than that. And here's where it came from. We're into a whole new evolution or revolution, if you like, in terms of fashion. We're really very much into comfort. We're very athletic. We got athleisure kind of wear, all the sportswear people are coming up with these with pants that you wear for jogging and then for doing all the different exercises, etc. Then we got a lot of people who want to put on those clothes and don't necessarily have to exercise to look slim. That's what I provide. The difference between my pants and theirs is you have to exercise in their pants and you don't have to exercise in my pants. Now I recommend you do, but you don't have to.
Yes.
So we have Slims that you don't have to exercise. They still look slim. Yeah. And it became such a magical issue that there was a word called Spanx in the marketplace, and that was like a girdle. that people would put on, and she became a billionaire. It's a reinvention of the old girdle, you know? And that's to hold you together, you know, and to try to give you a little bit more of that shape. So I sort of combined that technology with the latest fabric technology, and I went ahead behind the scenes and invented new yarns and etc. I spent about 2 years developing this program, all the way from yarns on to the knitting programs, the finish programs, etc., and to develop exactly the right weight fabric. I patented it all, you know, and I'm actually wearing them myself. I actually tested these things myself all the time. And here's a little interesting story. So I put these women's pants on, you know, and the women's pants, you know, and they're very tight on you. So I went to sleep in them, and see how they sleep. They were wonderful, except for one thing. In the morning, I went to buy a pair of ballet shoes. where did it go? And I started to kick, lick, say, okay, I gotta get these off me. They worked.
Yes, yes. But Justin is your project manager here in the Bahamas. You've developed a good team, I see. Yes?
Yes. Yeah, no, Justin has been in my life for, 10 years now? So he's been doing various projects for me throughout the year, and he's a very, very competent person, particularly in the world of sales and promotion and putting projects together like this. So I assigned him to take care of the whole development of the Slims, not only the store, but everything that goes after that store, which is really where we want to go. We do a lot of business on e-commerce. Half of my business is on e-commerce, on television, right?
But as much as you've been selling clothes around the world, this is the first time you really opened a store in the Bahamas.
First time I opened stores, even though for 30 years people would be asking me to do it. And I really didn't have a reason to do it, quite frankly. In the scheme of things, it would have been a very small project. But this one is so big that every woman in Bahamas will be wearing Slims. You mark my words. You know, I sometimes use different words than that, you know. And we're wearing Slims. And it can become a real cult. It is that big of an idea. So it can expand to everywhere, including institutional selling, you know, including to the hospitals. You can wear this white in the hospitals, you know, and be much healthier, much cleaner, much better product than they have right now. You could revolutionize all the hotel businesses. You know, everybody could be wearing various types of Slims because for every type of wear, it's better. And for every size, it's better. Much better, not even a little bit, but much better. For every culture, it's better. For every kind of end use, it's better. I never had anything like this in my life where it absolutely fits from age 13 to 83. You know, from extra large, extra small to extra large. You know, from all sizes. All ethnic groups. All ethnic groups. We got African Americans who fit. You know, who got beautiful, and we got the whites. I got the Chinese. You know, I got the Indians. I'm the biggest hit in London, in France, in Germany, in Italy. We're just opening in September in China. We're opening in India. It's just everywhere. I'm so excited. I can hardly keep up with the whole thing.
What does it do to your circulatory system? Does it impact it at all? Because you have women who are putting on these pants, and you see the curvatures, and I just wonder what it does do to the circulatory system.
Well, first of all, what it really does is really shapes you up. And the key thing it does, you know, is right away you lose 2 inches off your waist. Right away you lose a couple of inches off your whole figure looking at it this way. But unlike Spanx, which flattens your behind, this one lifts it up and shapes it. And that's the key, you know. Just like Victoria's Secret, the big secret was to take the breasts and lift them up and shape it. Well, all the action today is in the behind. You know, and that's where everybody's actions today. Now we take that thing and lift that thing, and every side just looks, my good, that looks good. And our husband said, my God, I didn't realize you had such a nice butt. So it's really is magical from that point of view that the attention has gone to the butt nowadays from the breast, and now we are able to shape that, and every time you put it on your butt, it doesn't matter what size, will look better.
Justin, tell us about executing the project here in the Bahamas for Peter Nygard. How has it been going?
Mr. Jones, the project has actually been much easier than I imagined. Initially, working for a perfectionist as Mr. Nygard, one would assume that it would require so much planning and detailed approaches on delivering it to the different market segments, but I'm glad he alluded to the definition of the name Slims, because the pants is doing just that. It's defining its name, Slim. It is designed to slim the female body, and in a more fashionable and comfortable approach, as opposed to the Spanx or the girdles, which are very restrictive and very uncomfortable. So he's made it by spending so much time on perfecting this product, it has made it almost flawless and easy to sell and promote the pants. The trick isn't just getting the lady to try it on.
What has been the reaction of women coming into your store?
Well, as Mr. Nygard would have alluded to, they are literally running to him in the middle of meetings and conversations just to thank him for the pants. The pants is flying, the Slim is flying off of the shelf. Women are not getting enough of it. And Mr. Nygard makes a perfect point in that this product was the right product for the Bahamas. So out of all of the lines that belong to Nygard fashion, this one is well suited for the Bahamas. So he particularly chose this for us at this particular time, and it's definitely making its impact on our society.
It's amazing that you say that they are flying off the shelves, because we know that there are you know the word Gussy Mays?
Yes.
There are some Gussy Mays in the Bahamas who seem to need to go to our gyms a little often, and so you are helping them with that, eh?
We definitely are.
They're the most fun ones of all. They're the most fun ones at all, you know, and we really get a kick out of it, because you put them on them and they love you for it.
Yes.
As you call it, Gussy Mays.
Right?
Yeah.
And surprisingly, Mr. Jones, to add to that, the slim pants, the misconception is that it's for a slim lady. As we've defined thus far, it's for the lady of curve. It's for this Bahamian woman. This pants is for you, and we invite you into the store to try it on.
Yeah.
The larger the size of the lady, as we get to the Gussy Mays,
yes,
the better the pants look. Its features are more defined at that point. So Gussy sisters, all come into the store. We have the pants for you.
So the pants are really made for women who are slim as well as those who are voluptuous, eh?
Yeah, this is the amazing part of it. It is totally, you can, for the very, very slender ones that may have a 32-inch hip, they look great in them. And the 13-year-olds come in without, and they said, "Mommy, I want one too." You know, I never had that happen in my life when I had the children wearing it, the teenagers wearing it, the young adults wearing it, and all the way up to, I have 4 generations, right?
Yeah,
4
absolutely.
generations of kids come in, and they all want to buy the same pad. That's unheard of.
Yes. Well, we're going to take a commercial break here, and when we return, we're going to actually see some of these women who are wearing Nygard Slims. We take this break, we'll come right back.
It slims me right down.
Slims you right
Right down.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's what it's meant to do.
Yes, yes.